So in order to set up the sensor for width measurement, we'll go over this menu one more time. We're going to go to the setup screen right here and then click on width setup. Then we can enter our nominal width, the alarms, the warning ranges, and all those things. First, we want to, whenever we have a new product in there, we want to measure the product, what the width of the product is. In this case, it's 153 millimeters. We're going to enter 153, enter, and then we're going to set the warning to be 0.4 millimeters. So if the alarm is less than the warning, the system will not accept it. So the best way to do that is to make sure to set the alarm first. So we'll set the alarm at 1 millimeter. And there is a way for us to set asymmetric alarms. So the positive range can be 1 millimeter and the negative range can be 0.5 millimeters if we wanted to. So in this case, I'll set it at 0.8 millimeters, and then the warning range in this case, let's set it to 0.4 millimeters. And we have set everything. What we want to do is to say, hey, this is the right one, so we say record width. What it does is it teaches the sensor to say, hey, this is the nominal width we're looking for, and I have presented the web with the right width, and it'll take the measurement from then on. So if you go back to the home screen, it's going to show you the measurement, and as long as it's within the range, you're going to have the green light. Whenever it goes to the warning limit, it's going to go to amber, and then whenever it's above the alarm, it's going to go to the red light. These are actually also triggering a digital output on the PLC, so we can connect a stack light with 3 outputs. So connect the red, amber, and green to the 3 signals in the stack light. The other thing that we want to point out a little bit more is the recipes. So sometimes you might not see it, you just have to click on this to say display recipe. So what we have provided is an option for you to save 7 different product recipes. You can scroll through them, and let's say we want to pick up product 7 and we want to use that as the recipe. What you need to first do is pick that number, click on load, and it's going to load the data here. Right now it doesn't have anything, so let me go to one which has something. Okay, so now I loaded product 1 and it had some values there, so we'll have to load it. Once you load it, its loading is just for display purposes. You need to press accept to accept that recipe so that it will be sent to the front screen for width measurement. In this case, I want to make sure to make some changes. If you want to make the changes, you can directly click on that width value, and I'm going to enter 153 and then alarm as 0.8 and then warning as 0.5. Once I enter that, if I press accept, it's going to send it to the front screen. If you ever change a recipe, you need to make sure to save it. So right now I can press save. Now it saves it to the memory. So that means that anytime you go back to that recipe and come back to 1, it will retrieve that data. So make sure to remember to save it. So 2 things. One is if you want to load something, it loads it here. So we will want to do that. Loads it here. And if you want to take this recipe and put it into the front screen, you need to press accept. And anytime you change the recipe, you need to make sure to save it. So that's the thing about recipes. You have an option to say about 7 recipes here. There's also an option to log the data as you make the measurement. There is a USB on this PLC. So what you can do is you can connect a USB there and click on start logging. It will start logging the data, and whenever you're done, you're going to say stop logging, and it'll stop logging the data, and then you can take the USB off from there. There are a few other settings here that you can set up as well. These are advanced settings. There is an option to override the minimum contrast in our sensor. The minimum contrast is used to say whether something is an edge or not in the picture. So by default we have 50, so we can have that. And if you want to enforce that, you need to press this button so that it changes into lime green instead of dark green. Whenever you want to disable it, you press that, it disables that, and this is the place where you can enter the value. You can also make the sensor provide a data that is already filtered. So if you want to do that, you turn on the filter, turns to lime green, turn off the filter, it goes off. This is an advanced feature which is called as a minimum measurement quality. Whenever we take a measurement, we have an output called quality factor, and we can set that. Nominally it's 10 millimeter. 10 is the minimum quality factor. Now if you want to make it higher, you can set that value and enter it there. So as long as there is a value, it's going to take this value. If you want to disable that option, press press 10 and enter, and it'll be that's the minimum that you can provide. So this screen is more like an advanced screen. Your operator wouldn't really have to do this. Only people, engineers that are setting up the system can use this for troubleshooting purposes and stuff like that. And yeah, that's about it. So these are the features there, and like we talked about before, we also have the option to log the data, and it's showing the log of the data right here.